Here are the top posts from Who Would Win on the 31st of October 2019. Gecko State. Lightning McQueen has been sent back in time to assassinate Adolf Hitler. How the hell can he pull it off?
Jonas 123. McQueen would stalk him for a few days until Hitler made the mistake of crossing the street. Then floor it, leaving the Führer as nothing more than a red stain.
Star Killer RX. R1. Running him over. Obvious. R2. Lightning preps by talking to Mater, who has experience as a spy, albeit accidental experience, after gathering info with him, which isn't much info, since Mater is an idiot. He travels to the German prison where Professor Zundap is in, and gets intel on Axelrod's plan on Cars 2. Already in Germany, he activates the time machine, built by DeLorean scientist, obviously, and goes back in time, disguised as a Volkswagen Beetle. He replaces Adolf Hyundai's gasoline with allanol and activates an EMP inside the Reichstag, exploding Hyundai and most of the Nazi inner circle in a single strike. Alternatively, the same as above except in a French cinema for an added Tarantino reference.
Wingspan. This is a very original prompt, but I don't think it's possible for Lightning McQueen to assassinate Hitler. Well, that is a sentence I never thought I would say. Let's look at the biggest problem. Lightning McQueen is a very conspicuous living car. He is bright red, with giant windshield eyes, no driver, and a mouth. He does not look anything like any other car that has been invented or even conceived by 1936. So there is really nowhere he can drive around humans where he wouldn't catch immediate attention. And even if people do not realize that he is alive, they're going to think there is something extremely wrong with such an alien vehicle moving around Germany. It would not be unreasonable to assume the vehicle is some kind of reconnaissance car or bleeding edge tank sent by Allied forces to sabotage the Monsieur. So Lightning is going to get reported to the local Nazi authorities over and over again until there is a severe watch for his presence. They're going to want to destroy or capture him, even without knowing that he is alive. And let's face it, Lightning McQueen doesn't really have the skills to evade this kind of capture. Yeah, he is way faster than every other car, but he doesn't speak German. No. He is not particularly smart and he doesn't have any kind of background in police vehicle interception or war, so he doesn't really know what to expect people to throw at him, Monsieur. I also want to point out that he is from a universe where humans don't exist. So even the task of assassinating Hitler might confuse him, Monsieur. He does not necessarily know what will or will not kill a human. He does not know anything about human behavior. So he might not understand things like going to the bathroom or even the need to cross the street. He is basically starting at a 3-year-old's concept of the world. Except all of his base instincts are wrong. He also has no concept of what a non-living car is supposed to act like. He doesn't know what he has to do in order to blend in. And he would have to spend a lot of time observing humans driving normal cars in order to do so. Imagine being teleported to an alternate universe where tiny robots drive vehicles that look kind of like a human but with no face around, without any context. Would you know how to act like one of these vehicles? So between a massive Nazi infrastructure that is paranoid and violent, and Lightning McQueen's complete inability to understand, blending with, or take violent action against the world around him, I give him a 0 out of 10 for this prompt, but I give it a 9 out of 10 for creativity. Covers. How the hell could Tony Hawk defeat Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Rocket-powered Tuatara. Dracula is vulnerable to holiness, so Tony wins with his righteous stunts.
Fong Wunkel. Tony Hawk could probably take this as is. When Dracula encounters him, he doesn't attack, instead going on Twitter to say that he saw a guy that looked exactly like Tony Hawk.
Masked Rider Bug Man. He can nail a plank across his skateboard to make a cross on wheels and repel or kill him with the power of a holy kickflip.
Godzilla Fan 8889. Minecraft. A pillager raid attacks a village only to find out that it's a broken-down zombie village, and the zombie villagers attack them. Cookie Bomb. See, can't you simulate this in-game?
Fruity McDo. Raid mobs are broken. The big ox thing is half as strong as the Ender Dragon and his attacks do the same amount of damage. The pillagers' crossbows have a large range and do tons of damage. Plus they can keep the melee-only zombies at range the whole time. Pillagers 10 out of 10.
Glass Paper. I'd give it to the raiders, due to superior range in attacks, as well as varied attack tactics. Plus, the zombies don't have very good attacks anyways.
Grim Creations. Ultron 616 replaces Mendicant Bias, Halo.
Frogglesmash. I'm pretty that Mendicant Bias is on a completely different level than Ultron when it comes to computing power. Forerunner AIs are all super advanced to begin with, and Mendicant was a contender-class AI, i.e. a composite AI made up of numerous individual AIs working in sync. And even among contender-class AIs, he was the most advanced one the Forerunners had built at the time. I mean, we're talking about an AI that single-handedly controlled all 12 Halo installations, as well as millions, or possibly billions of incredibly advanced spacecraft, many of which were casual planet busters. I'm just not sure if Ultron is capable of even handling the basic responsibilities that Mendicant Bias was in charge of, let alone do better than High Monsieur as for whether Ultron could resist the logic plague. I'm not sure if he'd even want to, seeing as his goals and the goals of the Flood seem to be pretty well aligned. Edit. I'm not super knowledgeable on Ultron, so I'm just going off of what I gleaned from a quick skim of his Respect thread. Considering that, it's entirely possible that I'm underestimating him by a lot.
Jate 920 Wood. This scenario is kinda weird. Mendicant Bias is a sapient computer whereas Ultron is a sapient program. Monsieur Mendicant Bias, a fake, is tied to his physical form. Ultron is not. Ultron could download himself into every ship in the galaxy and each one would be just as much him as the original. As far as intelligence goes, Ultron has shown a near unlimited potential for self-improvement. So even if he's not as intelligent as Mendicant Bias to begin with, a bit of a stretch, he will very quickly overtake him given time. Ultron went from being an immobile program in a box to a world-ending threat that required time travel to deal with in less than 40 years. Given the time span that the First Flood War took place over, it's not unreasonable to assume Ultron could approach the precursors in knowledge and power. Ultron would very likely fare better than Mendicant Bias in most scenarios, just given his ability to evolve.
Next, the functioning of halo arrays and neural science reminds me of Ultron's encephalorrays, designed to shut down brain function and mess with bioelectricity and neural functions. In a weird way, he may be able to crack the understanding of the neural physics faster than some of the locals. Honestly, he'd pal up with the didacts who saw the horrors of the Flood, considering he'd been to similar places and set up a shield world. The best thing would be to do a mind upload and create some duplicates from there. Not too different from the Phalanx thing. I see him making great relations with the warrior caste.
Hothtastic. In honor of John Witherspoon.
Mistake 345. First things first. Rest in power John Witherspoon. He's gone, but his contributions to comedy and black entertainment will never be forgotten. As for this question, Grandad, as old as he is, he's capable of putting up fights with possessed people, pimps, and Kung Fu Wolf bitches throughout the show, all the while only using a belt. He was also a legitimate war hero, fighting in World War II as an Air Force pilot. Granddad wins, but they make up in the end by whipping Riley's ass for annoying him throughout the fight.
Nightwing 12537. Rip John Witherspoon, but Grandpa Freeman would whip his ass.
Tandril 91. Mr. Jones, hey, old man, you got knocked the fuck out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.